Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we shall have the discussion of the 2 marks questions from the famous story The Bet by Anton Chekhov. And this story is in the syllabus of first semester BCA General English. I have tried to gather the about 20 questions. For more questions, I would suggest you to watch my video on the summary of the story The Bet. So let's have discussion of the 2 marks questions. Who hosted the gathering at the beginning of the story, The Bet? The banker hosted the gathering in the beginning of the story. What topic sparked the argument during the gathering? The topic of capital punishment versus life punishment. What was the young lawyer's opinion on life imprisonment? The young lawyer believed that to live anyhow is better than not at all. What was the bet proposed by the banker? The banker bet 2 million rubles that the young lawyer could not endure 5 years of solitary confinement. So the bet was something like this: he will give 2 million rubles if the lawyer cannot live alone for 5 years in the solitary confinement. How long did the young lawyer agree to remain in confinement? He agreed to remain for 15 years. 15 years. Next question. Where was the lawyer confined? The lawyer was confined in a lodge or in a house in the banker's garden. What were the conditions of the confinement? The lawyer could not leave the lodge or the house. He could not see anyone. He could not receive any letters or the newspapers, but he could request books, music, wine, and the other items through a small window. These were the conditions for confinement. How did the lawyer spend his first year in the confinement? He suffered from loneliness. He started to play piano. He started to read light novels. Then, what did the lawyer study during the second half of his confinement? He studied languages, philosophy, history, theology, natural sciences, and literature. Then, what significant letter did the lawyer write to the banker during his confinement? He wrote a letter in 6 languages asking the banker to fire a shot in the garden if his writing had no mistake, had no mistakes. How did the banker's financial situation change over the years? The banker went from being a billionaire to being nearly bankrupt. So, from billionaire, he became bankrupt due to reckless gambling or speculations. What did the banker decide to do the night before the bet ended? The banker decided to kill the lawyer to avoid paying him the 2 million rubles. What did the banker find when he entered the lawyer's room? The banker found the lawyer asleep at his desk with a letter beside him. What was written in the lawyer's letter? The lawyer wrote that he despised material wealth and the worldly life, and he would forfeit the 2 million rubles by leaving the lodge 5 hours before the end of the bet. So he said that he doesn't want any material wealth, any of the worldly life. He doesn't want even the 2 million rubles also, and he will leave the house before 5 hours of the bet. Why did the lawyer decide to renounce the 2 million rubles? The lawyer believed that worldly pleasures and wealth were fleeting, illusory, and meaningless. What did the banker do after reading the letter? He kissed the lawyer on the head. He left the lodge in tears and locked the letter in a fireproof safe. Then, how did the lawyer leave the lodge? He climbed out the window and left the garden before the bet ended. Why did the banker feel contempt for himself after reading the letter? The banker felt ashamed of his greed, selfishness, moral degradation compared to the lawyer's spiritual enlightenment. What did the lawyer's letter reveal about his transformation during confinement? The lawyer gained wisdom and rejected materialism and the worldly desires. How did the lawyer's views differ from those at the beginning of the story? At first, the lawyer valued life over death, but after confinement, he rejected life's pleasures as meaningless. So these are the 2 marks questions. Oh, I'm sorry, another two more questions to go. So, what does the lawyer symbolize in the story? The lawyer symbolizes the pursuit of knowledge and spiritual awakening. What does the banker symbolize? The banker symbolizes greed, materialism, and moral corruption. What is the central theme of the story, the bet? The central theme of the story, the bet, is the value of human life and the emptiness of materialism and the pursuit of knowledge. What lesson does the banker learn by the end of the story? The banker learns the futility of greed and the superiority of spiritual over material wealth. And the last question, how does the story The Bet conclude? The lawyer leaves before the bet ends, forfeiting the 2 million rubles, while the banker locks the letter away, burdened by shame and self contempt. The banker never shows this letter to anybody. He doesn't want to disclose that, how he lost the bet in the real manner. So this is how I have tried to bring here 2 marks questions from the story The Bet. Thank you so much for watching the video. Thanks a lot.